Welcome back again, YouTube. This is Balaam Mage, and I thought I would throw together a quick video on my thoughts of Blight so far, the problems that I think I have had with it, the things I really like about it, and what I'm really hoping changes in what might be tomorrow's patch, or maybe the day after, the nice big one they're supposedly working on. So we're gonna chuck on some little footage of me running red maps in the background for ADHD people that need something to look at that's moving. And we're going to go through what we've got. Hope you didn't want to see this half of the screen or me at all. Put it up here. Here we go. So far, after having played however long it's been, a week nearly? I don't think it's been a week yet. A while. I want to say that the blights inside of maps, I am super happy with. I feel like they have nailed the reward structure to right where I would like rewards to be. They haven't rewarded super clear speed. It's still important to have a strong enough build, especially if you want to go into red maps, you can't just slap together any garbage build and have it succeed. So you're still rewarded for having a good build, but when you push right up into that top 1%, super clear speed, speedy boy tornado shot builds, it's almost not even worth doing for them because you've started to get into like the top play, and because it's time capped, it's almost worth them skipping it from like a financial standpoint, and that might sound like a bad thing to them, but I don't think it is. I think it's a good thing. I think having a capped reward structure out of my map means everyone can get the same reward, and if you're going so hard and so fast that you make more than everyone else by not doing that encounter, I think that's fine. I don't think there's a problem with that. It's also really helped bridge the gap between slower players. So if you're one of the slower mappers and it takes you like 5 to 7 minutes to clear a map, that's really slow by super experienced players, or even by my standards, 7 minutes is way too long to clear a map and it feels slow. But if that's your speed, relatively speaking, now you have far more rewards out of doing the Blight encounter. You're going to get the same amount of rewards that the super speedy boys are getting, which is basically half my map rewards come from that. Like half of my currency comes from that. And like the fact that it's time gated, so you have to do it in time, means the slower your build is, the more rewarding comparative to your time spent elsewhere. So there's a good happy medium at my pace where I think I've got a decent build. I move decently quick. I'm enjoying it, and I'm mapping fast, but I'm not super speedy boy. And it takes me 2 to 3 minutes to clear most maps if it doesn't have, betrayal encounters in it and stuff like that. It feels pretty good. It feels really good and rewarding at that stage. I think anything longer than 3 minutes to clear a map and it would feel way better again. And if you're under the 2-minute mark, that's when you're starting to think, do I want to skip these and do I not? And I think that's a really good place for it to be. It's also important to note that I have felt highly rewarded for running tier 14 to 16 maps when it comes to Blight, compared to running my yellow tiers or even the white maps. The higher I have pushed up into maps, the better the rewards have felt. Even now, I want to say that's guaranteed in a consensus by map tiers, but it honestly even feels like I'm getting a lot more out of my tier 15s and 16s than I was out of 11s. So it doesn't even really feel like it's gated by like map color, white, yellow, red. It feels like the higher tier you're running, the better loot you get. That's how it's felt so far. Now, I haven't taken real data and I haven't done, it's just, how does it feel while mapping? And it feels like I'm being rewarded for going up tiers. And that is a far cry away from last league's glacier farming. And I'm a big fan of that. It makes me happy. I really, really like it. So, very happy with that. There's a few problems. 2 problems specifically. One, boss encounters inside the not your normal maps. Sometimes bosses spawn. They're comparatively incredibly hard to kill. I do like that. There's no problem with it. I like that they have special things. I even like the big proximity shield guy. Like, they're all great, except that they're so much harder to kill, and I have never noticed or felt any extra reward for doing it. So it always feels just a little ripped off when you go to the effort to kill this boss. It doesn't feel like there's any extra rewards. I don't even know if I get a double chest at the end, because they're sometimes doubled randomly and quite often doubled and tripled randomly in red maps. So I can't even tell if I'm getting rewarded for the boss or not. And if I'm not, why not? And if I am, why do I feel like I'm not? And I feel like that needs to be addressed from what I think is like a design perspective more than anything. If I am getting rewarded, they need to show me that somehow, because I'm not feeling it, and that part feels bad. Whenever there's a boss that shows up, I feel like I've wasted extra time for nothing. And so I don't like that particular part. Also, just occasionally, 1 out of every 40 or so maps, I do one Blight encounter that's really hard. Really hard. Like, it really, really pushes in. And I absolutely love that. And I'm wondering why that can't happen more, and why it happens so randomly. Like, it's just in and out. It's ridiculous swing. I would like to maybe tone down that incredibly hard one that happens every now and then, make that not quite as hard, but make all of the easy ones much harder. I really do like the idea of being challenged. It's much better. It's a lot more fun. I'd like it to go back to that. I'd like them all to be that difficult. Moving on to blighted maps, though. This is where stuff starts to go downhill. And this is where I've got some suggestions, which are just suggestions. Hopefully they're good. Blighted maps do not feel rewarding. Blighted maps, difficulty-wise, I've only done white and yellow ones. They do feel really good, difficulty-wise. But I've done, I want to say 8. And I have bugged 2 of them and crashed the other 6. So the 2 that bugged, I got reward chests from in quite a lot of places, but none of the loot from the middle. The 6 others crashed. Hasn't felt good. For how incredibly rare they are, it's been very disappointing. I really haven't enjoyed them to the point where I haven't even been interested in putting another one in. They don't drop oils, which feels very, very weird. And perhaps the biggest key thing, because I know they're gonna try and fix the crashing, and they're gonna try and fix the bugged rowers and stuff. So I know that's coming. But there's a big change I'd like to see. I don't feel like I have enough. I forget what it's called, but we're just going to call it juice. I don't feel like I have enough juice at the beginning to build enough towers for it to be a tower defense thing that I'm doing. And then by halfway through the encounter, I've got so much juice I can't spend it all, but I also can't go around and spend it. So I would like to see maybe... Honestly, from the ones I've done, I would like to see double the amount of juice to start so that I can place more towers. And then, even if that means you have to give me less during the encounter so I can still get the same amount of total towers out of an encounter, just give me something to start with so I can set up what I feel is a proper defense. The second thing I'd want, and this is the biggest one. This would make it feel so good. I would absolutely love this. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love it. I would like to split the entire encounters into 2 waves inside of blighted maps. I would like, in the first half of the time frame, I would like 40% of the total mobs in the zone to come out over the course of that time. And I forget how long they are. I really do. I have a horrible memory. But let's say they're exactly 5 minutes long. I would like it to go for 2.5 minutes. In 2.5 minutes, 40% of the total mobs of the zone would come out. Then, I would like 30 seconds after I kill that last mob where no mobs come out. Nothing. In that 30 seconds, having seen where it's split and where it's gone and what was my weak points, I should have 30 seconds to build some towers up. As a tower defense game, normally you have them come in waves and you get to see what's being weak before you're overrun and quickly try and fix this up and try and fix that up and be like, okay, this is the only weak area I've got left. I'm going to stand here and make sure I try and do that. So I'd like to have this break in the middle, but then to make up for that, with the 40% of the time remaining, just 2 minutes, not 2.5 like at the front, I would like to see 60% of the mobs come out at the end. So it really feels like a wave encounter. Like you get a decent amount of mobs come, see how your defenses work, a little bit of time to buff your defenses and build new towers where you think you had weak spots, and then an onslaught after that. That would make this... That might very well, if they did that, that might make this the top league that I have played. Like, that would be a fantastic change. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that's not how it worked to begin with, because it feels like that really fits tower defense, and it would really, really heavily reward strategy and thought. So I'm not tipping that those changes will happen, but I'm really, really hoping they do. That is pretty much it. Those are my current thoughts about this league. I'm going to definitely say it's like top 3 right now of all the leagues I've ever played. I really, really enjoyed it. I feel like it's a lot more casual friendly than the last league, so I'm pretty happy about that. And if they made these changes, I think it could be number 1. So get on that. Make these changes. Alright, that's me. I'm going to head off to bed. I will see everybody in stream tomorrow. I am Baylor Mage. Thanks for watching. I will see everybody later.